Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so we're diving right into something that is shared, highly relatable, and honestly, sometimes completely maddening. You know the feeling, we've all been there. You're humming the exact same chorus for hours on end, feeling like your brain just has a mind of its own. It's frustrating, it's fascinating, and today we're breaking down the actual science of why this happens.
Take just a second right now. What was the last tune that totally hijacked your brain? Seriously, let your mind pull it up. Got it? Awesome. Because today we are going to explore exactly why your mind kept pressing play on its own, long after the music actually stopped playing in the room.
All right, we've got to normalize this right out of the gate. When an earworm strikes, your brain is not broken. It's not glitching out. It's actually doing exactly what it was built to do. Your mind is this highly efficient machine designed to predict, complete, and reuse patterns. So what feels like a super annoying audio loop is really just your brain showcasing its incredible ability to recognize and store complex information. This whole phenomenon, it's a fundamental feature of your neurobiology. Definitely not a bug.
Which brings us to what we call the earworm formula, the anchor concept we'll be building on.
The really crucial point to grasp here is that an earworm isn't just a random passing memory. It's actually a powerful mix of three distinct forces: memory, expectation, and repetition. They work together as a complete system. Think of them like interlocking gears creating a perpetual motion machine right in your mind. Memory gives the song a trace to return to. Expectation creates this almost physical craving where your brain actively wants to hear the next note. And repetition? That lowers the effort it takes for your brain to recognize the tune. They just feed into each other, effortlessly keeping the song alive.
Let's zoom in a bit and look closely at the brain's mechanics. Think about it like this. Your brain, it's not a microphone. It doesn't just passively record raw audio the way a mic does, without caring what the sound actually is. Your brain is an active, hungry seeker of structure. It looks at a melody's rises, its falls, its rhythms, and it doesn't see random noise. It sees an intentional pattern that it desperately needs to understand and organize. It wants to make sense of the sound. Picture a folding path drawn in a notebook. If you draw a random, chaotic scribble, it gets lost super quickly because it's just too hard to follow. But a repeated line, a clear structure, that is incredibly easy for your mind to trace again and again. Your brain absolutely loves predictable structure because, frankly, it saves immense amounts of cognitive energy. Rather than processing chaotic noise from scratch every single second, it finds the predictable path and just follows it effortlessly.
Now, imagine someone walks right up to you, looks you dead in the eye, and says, "I have one more thing to tell you," and then they just walk away. Your mind would be completely stuck. You'd be left intensely waiting for the end of that sentence, right?
While that lingering feeling of unfinished business, that is exactly how musical prediction creates mental tension. If a melody delays closure just a little bit, or if it stops before your brain feels fully satisfied, boom, it creates tension that keeps the earworm alive. Your attention just keeps circling it, trying desperately to close the loop and resolve that anticipation. Your brain literally refuses to let go of unresolved expectations.
And that leads us perfectly into the anatomy of a hook.
There are certain features your brain just absolutely loves. We're talking clean phrasing, repeated lyrics, short melodic rises, and really predictable beats. Basically, phrases that feel like they should continue. These features act to compress a song into what we call a hook. And a hook isn't just the catchiest part of a pop song. Functionally, it's the sturdy handle your mind can grab onto the fastest. See, your brain isn't trying to memorize an entire 3-hour concert. It just wants that handle. It wants a manageable, perfectly sized piece of data, and these musical features deliver exactly that.
This brilliantly illustrates how repetition inside a song acts as active reinforcement. Walk through this timeline with me real quick. First, your brain learns a short phrase. Then, the song repeats it multiple times inside the chorus. By the third or fourth time, your brain's recognition effort just plummets, and suddenly, the pattern is replaying without the song even playing in the room. The music literally trains your brain how to store the pattern with virtually zero effort.
Now we can't forget about emotion. Emotion acts literally like a spotlight, telling your brain to prioritize and keep a pattern because it's connected to a significant feeling. It's like slapping a bright neon label onto a storage box. This is exactly why a song from a bad breakup, an amazing party, or even just a highly stressful commute is way more likely to become an earworm. Your brain flags it as important, making that memory deeply durable.
But here's the wild part, the attention trap. It's a total paradox. Surprisingly, the very moment you focus your attention to actively ask why a song is stuck in your head, you inadvertently strengthen the loop. By looking directly at what your brain is holding on to, you give the loop more definition and power. It's wildly ironic. Your conscious awareness doesn't break the loop, it actually feeds it.
So, bringing it all together, let's look at the complete system. When you step back and look at the whole picture, you really see this complete ecosystem at work. Pattern gives your brain a specific shape to latch onto. Prediction makes it eagerly anticipate what's coming next. Repetition strengthens that familiarity so it takes zero effort to recall. Emotion marks the entire experience as deeply important. And finally, attention acts as the fuel, where simply noticing the loop keeps it spinning. It is a perfect storm. When these forces interlock, a song stops being just audio and transforms into a living, self-reinforcing mental pattern.
Because you understand this framework now, you can totally shift your perspective. You can view an earworm not as some maddening annoyance, but as a readable, logical pattern. You can actively diagnose it using first principles. You've essentially unlocked the matrix of both modern pop music and your own neurobiology. You aren't just enduring these loops anymore. You can actually read the system in real time and understand exactly what your brain is doing.
So, to put this new systems thinking into practice immediately, I want to leave you with a genuine question. The very next time a song suddenly loops in your head, I want you to pause and ask yourself, what specific hook is your brain trying to complete? What precise feature is it holding on to right then? Diagnose the forces at play. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, may your next earworm be a brilliant one.